Welcome back to Bonkers Comic Club. Got another haul for you guys today. Me and my buddy Ryder went down to Fantasy Factory down in Dalton, Georgia. It was a really cool store. I checked out all the comic book stores around me so often that I was like, I need to find out if there's another comic store around me that I haven't binged through all their dollar bin boxes. And sure enough, I looked it up. About 45 minutes away from me was this place called Fantasy Factory. So I told my buddy Ryder about it. After work, we went down there. We scummaged through everything and found a lot of good stuff, so let's get into it. First, we've got Arachnite Infinity Warps, number 2, written by Dennis Hopeless, art by El Garza. This character, Arachnite, you might have seen him in the Spider-Man game, I think Spider-Man 2, but he's a combination of Spider-Man and Moon Knight. I'm a huge Moon Knight fan, so pretty much anything that has to do with Moon Knight, I'm going to try to get my hands on, including Arachnite. It's a 2-part limited series that I'm trying to find issue 1 for still, but this is the first out of the 2 that I've gotten. I was wondering what Infinity Warps was as well, and they were stories about Warp World, which is a pocket universe whose inhabitants are amalgams of 2 different characters. And it was like Doctor Strange combined with someone else, but it's 2 Marvel characters mashed into one character, and that's the whole universe. Seems pretty cool, but mainly in it for the Moon Knight stuff, or Arachnite, which, cool combination of characters. You got a psychopath like Moon Knight and a very hopeful person like Spider-Man combined. I don't know which of the personality type this character takes more of, but really cool to find regardless. So Arachnite number 2. Next, we've got Black Panther from volume 3, number 28, written by Christopher Priest, or 24, I'm sorry, but written by Christopher Priest, art by N.D. Bright. This volume lasted 62 issues, and Christopher Priest did most of them. This is a certified writer recommendation. When we were at Dragon Con, there was a lot of Black Panthers that I missed out on that were from the Christopher Priest run, and he was telling me how great that run is. So Black Panther's a cool character. I like him. I love all the gold on this costume design. I think it looks cooler. Well, I don't know. I could go both ways, the gold and the purple, but I think the gold looks really good in this cover, for instance. But he's a really cool character. I like the concept of Wakanda. And I'm excited to read these once I piece more together. But for right now, I think I've got 4 issues in this run. But Black Panther number 24. Next is Blade from volume 3. Written by Mark Gunningham. Art by Howard Chaykin. This volume lasted 12 issues. Blade's kind of cursed to not have very long running series. He's a super cool character. I love all the supernatural stuff Marvel does, like Ghost Rider, Man-Thing being my favorite, but Blade's among them. Same with Morbius and a few other characters. But Blade is one I really want to get into more. I've not read a run with him yet. Actually, that's a lie. I'm reading the current run, the Red Bands that they're doing right now at Marvel. Totally pointless to have Red Band issues. They're not that much different than what comics were like in the early 2000s, like a Deadpool comic, for instance, or a Wolverine comic. They're not too gory. Blood Hunt was a good reason because it added a few extra pages, but I digress. Blood Hunt was an event that happened recently in Marvel, and Blade was a main character in it. Spoiler alert, he was possessed by the first vampire and was portrayed as a bad guy. You didn't know what Blade was up to, but a pretty cool run. I liked it because it brought back one of my favorite characters. I won't spoil that, but the current run is really good. The first issue was really good, and the second one just felt like strictly setup. It wasn't a huge fan of the second issue, but I'm holding out hope that the third issue is gonna bring it back to the hype that I had with the first issue. But Blade number 8. And then we've got Captain America, Volume 5, number 31. Written by Ed Brubaker, art by Steve Epting on this issue. Pretty cool run that I'm piecing together. I really like Ed Brubaker. He wrote Immortal Iron Fist, as I've said in almost every one of these videos by now, but I'm starting to really like Ed Brubaker's writing. I think and I've heard a lot of good things about this. This is the volume that introduced the Winter Soldier, and Winter Soldier is basically just Bucky Barnes, which was Captain America's sidekick. And when Cap falls off the bomb into the ice, he thinks that Bucky blows up, but really he becomes like a sleeper agent for Hydra. If you've not seen the movie, that basically is the short synopsis of it. And hopefully I can piece or obtain that issue at some point for really cheap, but it's a pretty valuable key, so I doubt it. But Captain America number 31. And then also, still same writer and same artist for this one, number 32, the Black Widow and a Falcon cover. There's a "We Will Never Forget" sign with Captain America on it in the back. I'm going to guess, I'm pretty sure on issue 25, it was The Death of Captain America, which is a comic I had as a kid because the guy at the comic book store at the time was telling me how much that issue was going to be worth one day, that it was going to be one of the biggest keys that we've had in a while. But as with most comic book deaths, it doesn't last long. Most characters get brought back. There's a few examples where they did die and stay dead, like the original Captain Marvel or Gwen Stacy. But very seldom do characters die and not come back. So he wasn't right about that, but I mean, he could have been. So, I mean, I still have the issue. It's not worth as much as what he said it was going to be, but still a cool issue to have. But this is Captain America number 32. And then we got 47, Captain America shackled on his knees. I like the dragon stuff going on here. I don't know who the hooded figure is. It could be any number of villains. This art is done by Butch Geis. Pretty cool cover. I like what's going on. But yeah, not much to say about it. I'm sure I'm going to like this run when I finally piece it together. And maybe I'll do a review. I had this originally recorded on my new camera, but sadly the file was corrupted when I tried to transfer it over to my computer. So I just want to put stuff out on the channel for you guys while I'm figuring that out. So filming this on my phone still, but soon the quality is going to bump up a little bit. Next issue we have here is Darkhawk number 33, written by Denny Fingeroth, art by Todd Smith. Volume 1 has 50 issues in it, and they get more scarce and expensive the later in the run you get. Number 1's a key worth maybe $15, but then when you get later on in the run, they're worth anywhere between like $25 to $30. I know annual number 3 is worth around $30, and some like around like the 45 mark is when they start getting more expensive. But Darkhawk is an underrated 90s character, same as Sleepwalker. A lot of Darkhawk fans are Sleepwalker fans, and they're pretty interchangeable. I just read Darkhawk number 1 for the first time last night. It was pretty good. I liked it. I want to read the whole run though, because I think the character is sick. But a little information on Darkhawk is his real name is Christopher Powell, and he discovers a mysterious amulet in an amusement park of all places that Hobgoblin was searching for, and it allows him to switch places with a super-powered android that Christopher controls with his mind, which is a cool concept. Like, their bodies just completely swap places. And sorry if you hear my sniffling, by the way. I am sick at the moment, but they swap places. It's basically Marvel's version of Power Rangers, but he's got a sick-ass suit. And this cover in particular looks like a hentai magazine or something fucked up like that, but gotta read the issue to know why Darkhawk is being attacked by an octopus in this. Very strange cover, but cool. I like the green in it. And then issue 37. There's that amulet I was talking about. A really cool cover in the back with him fighting Venom. Just a really cool character. I like Darkhawk. The way they draw him later is much cooler. They make him look far more badass. And the suit kind of changes throughout the run, but really, 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 really cool design. I think they need to bring back him and Sleepwalker. They should have been mainstays. People really enjoy them. They're just underutilized. And Kyle Higgins did actually do a recent run for Darkhawk, but it was a mini-series. It was good, but it wasn't Christopher Powell. It was a different Darkhawk, and just didn't hit the same, but it's still a really good read. I would recommend that one as well. Then we got Deathlock from Volume 4. Deathlock's a really cool character. Don't really know the full backstory. I've heard it's kind of convoluted, but I try to collect Deathlocks when I can. Not so much Volume 1, because the art on Volume 1 really throws me off for some reason, but I'm trying to collect his other series. This is from Volume 4, written by Charlie Huston and art by La Medina. I wonder if they're related to Angel Medina. Not sure. The cover's pretty cool too. This miniseries had like the 3D art, like the early onset 3D that some of the books at Marvel had at this time. And most of the time, I don't feel like it works as much. It's super glossy. Pretty sure the same artist did the main cover for the old Marvel Encyclopedia. It just looks very similar. But either way, I mean, it works. It gets the job done. Deathlock number 2. That was number 2. Then we got number 6. Deathlock being taken down by a lot of soldiers all around him. Explosion happening in the background. Deathlock number 6. Not much to say besides that. Then we got Drax the Destroyer number 1. Not entirely sure why I got it. I've been reading Dan Abnett's Guardians of the Galaxy run, and this is probably why, but Drax has become my favorite out of that cast of characters. I thought Rocket would easily be my favorite, but Drax has proven to be my favorite. He's batshit insane, but he's really smart. This is written by Keith Giffen and art by Mitch Breitweiser. And I had no idea, but this is the first Drax solo series. So, just had I didn't know why, but I wanted it, and I'm glad I got it, because it's a pretty considerable key. It could be worth something one day. Gamora's first solo series is worth quite a bit now, and I've not seen this before, so that was pretty cool to find. But this kind of reintroduced Drax, apparently, and it redesigned his look, which was the look that they used for the Marvel movies. So super cool find. Glad I found it. Next is Incredible Hulk. I've been trying to collect the Peter David run, as people who watch my videos probably know by now. And I swore that this was part of that run, and it's not. This one's written by Al Milgrom, art by Steve Geiger. And I was like, man, Zax, what a crazy looking character. I just figured that he was made of electricity and had electric powers, which I was right on that, but his origin, I looked up some stuff about him, and it's batshit insane. He was apparently created by accident during a terrorist attack. Don't know what kind of terrorist act turned him into Zax, but Must have been pretty crazy. He's a being of pure electricity who can absorb and discharge powerful currents of electricity. Looks like long-haired Hulk got the shit shocked out of him. But Hulk 327. Then we got Hulk 381. This is part of the Peter David run, written by Peter David, art by Dale Keown. A pretty funny looking old man right here. I feel like his lips should have not continued past the mustache. Makes him look a little cartoony. But Hulk's ensnared, and then it looks like the Pantheon's kind of laughing at him in the bottom. I only know about the Pantheon from the Marvel Encyclopedia, but I know it's a big part of Peter David's run. So I don't know. I don't have no idea if they're good or bad. I'm pretty sure Hulk works with them, but I can't be sure until I read it. And it's a huge run. Some of those early issues are gonna be hard because like the Todd McFarlane covers are worth quite a bit. One of them being the infamous, I believe, Wolverine holding up his blades and Hulk being in the reflection, which I don't have. My buddy Wig has it. Really jealous of that, but maybe one day soon I'll be able to snag it as well. And then we got Hulk 446. Hulk looks sad. Written by Peter David still. Art by Angel Medina, who does the art for Warlock and the Infinity Watch, the earlier issues. On-again, off-again artist for that series, and I love their art. I've gotten to where I really enjoy seeing their name on something because I know it's going to be really crazy artwork. I don't know if this came before or after Infinity Watch, so I'm excited to see whether their art style progresses or how it led up to what I saw in Infinity Watch. But post-onslaught, post-banner, radioactive and on the run, which is every Hulk issue. He's always radioactive and on the run. Someone's always trying to mess up the Hulk or catch him, the Army, Abomination. But Hulk 446. And then we've got Hulk Destruction #1. I found a full list of Peter David's Hulk run, and I was surprised to see that stuff, a lot of one-shots. There's like a Hulk versus Hercules, the Maestro runs, and there's like a Joe Fixit run. I didn't know he still continued parts of that run way later down the line, and this is apparently part of it. Written by Peter David, art by Jim Munez. And my buddy Ryder was like, oh, that's the same, the destruction part of that is the same part of the logo from the video game, Ultimate Destruction. And I'm not sure if it is based off of that or if it's its own separate thing, but apparently a lot of people like Ultimate Destruction. I never personally played it, but apparently a lot of people liked it. So maybe it's based off that, maybe it's not. I have no idea. And then we have Incredible Hulk Destruction #2, facing off against the Abomination. Hulk's fish-like arch nemesis. Clash of the Abominations. The military coming up from the background. It's almost Hulk's entire rogues gallery. Hulk fights a lot of other people's villains, but the main ones from my knowledge are the leader, Abomination, and the fucking military. So pretty cool. The military is not the most exciting of enemies to have in a comic book, in my opinion, but I was reading Hulk Gray, and just Tim Sale's art really made me appreciate the military as an enemy. Some really cool art in that, but I'm excited to see if they make it work here. Either way you look at it, the military is a big part of Hulk's origin. They're always going to be present, from what I've read, in Immortal Hulk, Hulk Gray, or Banner. But Hulk Destruction #2. Then we've got the Mighty Thor, #363. awesome Curse cover. I had no idea who he was, but I just knew he looked badass. His name's apparently Curse. And he apparently was originally Malekith, and he gets turned into this. I don't know how that happens, but I am reading through the Walt Simonson run, by the way, written and drawn by Walt Simonson. Infamous Thor run introduces Beta Ray Bill, Malekith, and a lot of other characters, but Beta Ray Bill is one of my favorites, and already had his first appearance, which is apparently the start of the Walt Simonson run. So I've read a little bit about it, or I've read like a few issues of it. Pretty cool. Love seeing Beta Ray Bill in anything regardless if I like it or not. Gonna enjoy just having him in the comic book, but I feel like if I don't like this comic, I'm gonna get crucified. So I like it. I like it so far. The Old English doesn't really do it for me, but I mean, it's understandable. They're all Asgardian. Really cool cover. Curse seems like a really cool enemy. Hulk 363. And then we've got X-51, the Machine Man, number 5. Written by Michael Higgins. Art by Joe Bennett. I'm familiar with, I've heard the name Joe Bennett before. Not sure I've read anything with his art in it. But Machine Man, or X-51, he's an android superhero who's created by Jack Kirby, which was part of the 2001 A Space Odyssey run, based on the film by Stanley Kubrick. It's a number 8 to any of those who are wondering, and I got that at the Dragon Con. You can see that in the Dragon Con Hall. I love this character. I think he's just a really underused character as well. Might be the Jack Kirby. I love the later, I mean, I love all the Jack Kirby stuff, but Devil Dinosaur and Machine Man, I believe, are the last two things that Kirby created over at Marvel. And they're just great characters. I really like them. I think they're both underused for whatever reason. But I've been really trying to piece this run together. Number 1 eludes me. I can't fucking find it. But X-51, number 5. Now this next several issues, probably a big chunk of it, is a bit controversial. Cerebus, this one being number 58, written and drawn by Dave Sim. It's a famous self-published indie comic, one of the head honchos of self-published works. Started in 1977, so it's an old book. And I'm going to talk and go through these covers rather quickly. There's issue 60. It went on until 2004, but reportedly is on hiatus and will return. I don't know how true that is. Some stuff came up about Dave Sim, or it's pretty apparent anyway, in the later issues of this run, that he is incredibly misogynistic. But according to fans, it's like a masterpiece of a run up until about issue 90, at least from what I read on Reddit. It's a masterpiece, and then you start telling how much he hates women. So that really sucks. I know he tried to get into a boxing match with Jeff Smith, who is the creator of Bone, which is my favorite comic book of all time, which is another really interesting fact about Dave Sim. One of the many interesting facts about him that aren't good. But I'm wondering if I should even, I mean, if it's as good as what people say they are. I know I'm never going to be able to afford number 1, nor do I really want to. But I want to know what which issues to pick up and to read. Because the titles on these books, like the last one is Ignored, It's Just Another Reality. That's awesome. That's a cool title. Makes me, and the covers make me really intrigued to see what it's all about. But I want to know if it's even worth reading or supporting. I mean, he doesn't get any kickback from me finding the back issues, but still. And all of these issues, by the way, are from the dollar bin. He actually cut me a deal. I got more than 50 books, and he Still gave it to me for 50. Just being generous. I wish I got his name. He was a really cool guy. But shout out to Fantasy Factory for cutting me a little bit of a deal. Found my buddy Guy some comics too. He just started collecting. And I got him some X Factor Volume 3 by Peter David. I found him some Curse Words by Charles Soule and Ryan Brown. Just some stuff I thought he would like. There's number 72. Number 74. These covers are very striking too. It sucks that he's apparently a piece of shit, but I mean, I really want to know if it's worth reading. Like, that cover is fucking awesome. I'm not even sure what's happening, but very cool. Very, very cool cover. Number 78. Oh, 79, sorry. Last one was 78. Cerebus laughing at some poor guy just trying to sleep. Number 80. Jewish Ben Grimm giving a thumbs up. Ben Grimm's already, or the Thing, rather, from the Fantastic Four is Jewish, but they made him it more apparent on this cover. It's very interesting. He gets away with a lot, especially this next issue, which I think is the coolest out of all the covers here. Number 82, Swamp Thing and Man Thing. A Man Thing with tits, no doubt. My buddy Ryder, I didn't even notice that Man Thing had boobs until he was like, does Man Thing have tits on that? And I was like, oh, I guess they do. Very interesting cover. Alan Moore in the middle of them. That has to be Alan Moore in the middle of those two. I wonder how satirical this gets, because I heard it gets really deep and dark. This series does a lot of the time. I love how he does space. Like, the way the colors he uses for space is awesome. Number 83. Touch Not the Priestess. Number 86. I don't know what the fuck that is. It looks like a man in a bug suit. Not sure though. 87. I'm not sure, but it looks like an homage to The Dark Knight. I have no idea though. I have not the slightest clue. Number 88. I love Cerebus's design too. He's a really cool looking character. It's like simplistic, but there's a lot of like life and grit to the character. It reminds me of Bone. Like, really reminds me of Bone. But number 88. Number 89. Dead Friends. And the reason I got these is because you never find them for $1, and because they're self-published, just can't find them too often. Number 90, not number 5, like the cover might make you think. Then number 91, great cover, awesome cover. Just the way he does space is so cool. And finally, number 92. So let me know if I should read that or not. I'm just not sure. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe. If you like comic book hauls and videos, I plan on doing a lot with this channel. I'm still gonna do hauls, but I have a lot of ideas for future videos and just more comic book content. So if you're interested in that, make sure, like I said, you hit the like button and subscribe. Really help out the channel, and I appreciate it every time One of y'all do it. And comment what y'all have been collecting recently. I'm really interested to hear what everyone's been collecting. Always cool to get recommendations. But this is Paul Chadwick's Concrete #2, written and drawn by Paul Chadwick. This originally appeared in Dark Horse Comics Presents before getting its own series. There's a YouTuber, I'm going to go past this. Great cover, by the way. I love Concrete's covers. And I'm really interested to read this series. There's number 5. There's a lot of crazy shit happening in this cover. There's like guns taped to her, or that rock star. And the triggers have like fishing line with body parts and people are reaching for it. Very strange. Concrete's kind of a bodyguard. But a YouTuber named Strange Brain Parts, which I highly recommend. Their video made me really interested in this series. Along with many other indie underground comics. He covers so many of those that I would never have known about otherwise. It's a comic called Grimjack I really want to check out now. But seriously, go check out that channel. It's amazing. Concrete, The Human Dilemma, #3. Still written and drawn by Paul Chadwick. But Concrete, I was looking into his character. He is a normal man, apparently, whose brain was transplanted into a large stone body by aliens. And besides his origin and the way he looks, there are no supernatural or science fiction elements to the story, and it's actually very grounded, apparently. Which is super interesting. I'm really interested to see how that works. #4. Dude is crashing out in the corner right there, or in the chair. Not Concrete in his concrete one, but the actual human being. #4. #5. Concrete getting operated on. Really cool. I love the way the magnifying glass shows like perspective, how it's zoomed in, because it's like you're looking through the magnifying glass. Concrete's just reading his little book. #5. And then #6, a little baby Concrete. I don't know what the fuck that's all about. That's most of the issues of The Human Dilemma. I'm definitely going to try to get the other issues that I need. #1 and 2. And you know how I said that Dark Horse Presents was what he first appeared in? Well, this is from that original series. This is Dark Horse Presents #2. Can't believe I found these for $1. Best cover of the haul by far. I love the colors on it. I love everything about this cover. I like that Concrete's part of the mountain, kind of marching towards you. Same author and artist, Paul Chadwick. These are the early Concrete stories. It's an anthology series with several other indie comics inside it. But I kind of just credited Paul Chadwick for these because that's what I was interested in, was Concrete. #5. And #18. The Mask is in the corner right there. Probably based off the Jim Carrey movie, because I know it was a comic book at first. Very interested to read that story as well. And finally, the last comic for this haul, Project Superpowers #2, or Chapter 2, #7. Written by Jim Kruger, art by Edgar Salazar, cover by Alex Ross. It's the same author as Justice. This series is co-plotted by Alex Ross. Alex Ross is also art director, doing sketch pages, color guides, and character designs for most of the characters. And apparently resurrects a number of Golden Age superheroes originally published by companies including Fox Comics, Crestwood Publications, and Needle Comics, most of which are in the public domain. I had no idea about that. The story's very cool, though. I'd already read it like a lot of it. It's a great story, and I'm going to eventually make a video on it, but just awesome covers in all of these. I wish I could talk about it more, but I am about to piss myself. So guys, thank you for watching the video, and make sure to like and subscribe, and yeah, see you in the next one.